Okay, in today's video I want to take a look at 10 different sets and groups of players who I bet you didn't know played together. Let me know in the comments below how many of these sets of players you knew had played together. Okay, let's start things off with David Beckham. Mainly known for his times at Manchester United and Real Madrid, David Beckham made his debut in 1992 for Manchester United, and in 1995 he took a loan to Preston North End. He only played 5 times for them and scored twice. However, did you know his teammate at the time was David Moyes? Moyes played for a number of different teams until 1998 when he retired and became the manager of Preston, but he signed for them in 1993, so in 1995 when Beckham was there, David Moyes was his teammate. Okay, so for pair number 2 we're going to start with Brazilian legend and Ballon d'Or winner Kaká. He started his career at Sao Paulo in Brazil before moving to Europe in 2003 for AC Milan. In 2009 he would move to Real Madrid. Wouldn't really work out for him there, so in 2013 he decided to go back for a season to AC Milan, which would be his final season in Europe before he would take a loan year in Brazil and then move out to America. However, during that 2013-14 season, whilst he was at AC Milan, for a period of about a couple of months, his teammate was former Premier League cult hero Adel Taarabt. Taarabt spent the second half of the 2014 season on loan at AC Milan, and he wasn't terrible for them. He scored 4 goals in 14 games. But an interesting one of 2 very talented attacking mids. Okay, pair number 3 is one of the more commonly known ones, but we'll start with Wilfred Zaha. In 2010 he came through the youth system of Crystal Palace, and in 2013 would technically sign for Manchester United but would only play twice for them and was immediately loaned back to Crystal Palace, who he would then go on to re-sign for in 2015 and would stay there until 2023, in which he would leave to sign for Galatasaray and is now on loan at Lyon. However, in the same year that he made his debut was the same year that Dutch international legend Edgar Davids did spend a year at Crystal Palace. He only played 6 games and would then leave, later going on to Barnet, who he would be the player manager of. So even if these guys did share the pitch at the same time, they probably didn't share it for very long. However, Edgar Davids and Wilfred Zaha at one point were both teammates. For our 4th pair, we start with Brazilian left-back Alex Telles. He's just been crowned a champion of the Brazilian League with Botafogo. However, in 2014 he would initially move from Brazil to Europe, leaving Grêmio to sign for Galatasaray. He would be contracted to Galatasaray for 2 seasons from 2014 till 2016. However, in the 15-16 season he would be on loan at Inter Milan before being sold to Porto. However, during his time, the 2014-15 season, whilst he was at Galatasaray, he played basically 40 games. And during that same period, Dutch legend Wesley Sneijder was a regular player for Galatasaray at the time. He was at the club from 2013 until 2017 and played well over 100 games before joining Nice momentarily and retired 2 years after leaving Galatasaray. However, an interesting connection, I bet not many people knew that Wesley Sneijder and Alex Telles at one point were teammates. Okay, for our 5th pairing, this is a bit of a weird one. If I was to tell you that Eden Hazard and Joe Cole were teammates, I'm sure everyone would assume it was at Chelsea. But in fact, no, it was at Lille. Hazard came through the Lille youth system and played for the club between 2007 and 2012, in which he would then go on to sign for Chelsea. Joe Cole, however, had spent from 2003 until 2010 at Chelsea. In 2010 he would leave to sign for Liverpool, and in 2011 he would take a year's loan at Lille. He played over 30 times for Lille, and Hazard was heavily involved in his final season at Lille, so these 2 guys more than definitely shared the pitch together numerous times. Joe Cole's career would continue for a few more years in the Premier League, coming back to sign for West Ham and then Aston Villa. But very coincidental that two Chelsea legends did play together, just not at Chelsea. Okay, moving on to our sixth pairing. When you think of Americans in the Premier League, one of the originals was former Everton goalkeeper Tim Howard. He played for the club initially on loan in 2006 and wouldn't leave until 2016 on a free transfer to go back to America. However, from 2013 until 2016, Tim Howard was actually teammates with current Manchester City star John Stones. Both are a staple in Everton's defence and goal, so these two definitely played together a number of times. Our seventh pairing starts with one of the greats of the game, Angel Di Maria. He's won Champions Leagues and World Cups and played for a number of huge teams, but one of the earliest teams he played for was Benfica, being at the club from 2007 until 2010, when he would then sign for Real Madrid. But during the whole time he was there, one of his teammates at the time was current Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim. Amorim was at Benfica for 9 years, in between 2008 and 2017, so these two guys were definitely teammates at least a handful of times as well. For our next pairing, let's look at a championship pairing. We'll start with James Maddison. James Maddison came through at Coventry in 2013 and would stay until 2016, when he would sign for Norwich City on a permanent. However, in his first season, he would be loaned straight back to Coventry for the remainder of the 2016 season. And during that time, he would actually be teammates with former Rangers player Ryan Kent. Maddison's obviously gone on to have the much better career, however Kent has made a European final with Rangers, so quite interesting to know that the two of them were actually teammates. This is one that I didn't know. Let's go for an older one now, and we're going to start with former great Rivaldo, mostly known for his time at Barcelona and with the Brazil national team. Rivaldo was an absolutely amazing goal scorer. However, we're going to focus on his time during 2011, when he would make a loan move back to Brazil to play for Sao Paulo. And during that time in 2011, he would have been teammates with current Manchester United holding midfielder Casemiro. He was at the club from 2010 until 2013, when he would then be sold to Real Madrid. But quite an interesting one, considering Rivaldo did let his career go on for quite a while and didn't retire until 2015, but he made his debut in 1990. And with Casemiro coming to the end of his career, it'll be interesting to look back in 10 years' time and see who, interestingly, he played alongside. Let's go for another championship one this time, and we're going to start with Manchester United great Wayne Rooney. After leaving United, he spent a year at Everton before a year in America, seeing him come back to England to spend 1 year at Derby County in between 2020 and 2021. And during that time, he would have been teammates with current Rangers player and Wales international Tom Lawrence. Lawrence has played over 23 times for Wales, so if you're a fan of Scottish football or the Welsh national team, you'll either know this one or be quite surprised by this one. But it's interesting to look at a number of different areas in which players will have played together. Fun fact as well, Tom Lawrence has actually played a game for Manchester United, which I didn't know. And we'll round things off with a bit of a throwback, but also one of the obvious ones. We'll start with Brazilian midfielder Oscar, who left Chelsea in 2017 to be one of the first and definitely the biggest name who moved out to the Chinese project. And he was one of the only players who actually seen the whole thing through. He's just left this year from Shanghai Port. However, in 2016 until 2020, before the club was actually renamed to Shanghai Port, for 4 years he was actually teammates with a fellow Brazil international in Hulk. Hulk's career is definitely one of the more interesting ones, because everyone knows who he was and everyone appreciated what player he was, and my god, what a player he was. However, he never actually played in any of the big 5 leagues. Definitely a very interesting career from Hulk there. However, that was just 10 examples of players who you might not have known have played together. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, it really helps me out, and if you could subscribe as well, that would be amazing. We're just short of 250 subs, which is a goal I want to reach by, and I will see everybody in the next video.